Hello coders, welcome back to another YouTube tutorial, and in this tutorial we are focusing on saving our messages into our local storage, and we are using the Realm database, which is powered by MongoDB. There are so many advantages why I love this database. One, it's an ORM. Two, it supports Android and iOS, and also our framework Flutter, and also it supports real-time subscriptions on local, so it's like real-time again. So we can use this database, and I will show you how to integrate with Realm database. So let's get started. So here from the documentation, you can go to docs and Realm SDK, and you select Flutter SDK. From the Flutter SDK, let's go to the installation, and we want to install it on our so it supports different like cloud, mobile, like offline. So it's for Mongo. So let's add this dependence to our Flutter project. So let's go to terminal and add this dependence, Flutter pub add realm. So after adding the dependency, we can walk through the flow. So dependence is now added, and you can use this package. That's all. Let's go to setup. So to set up, we need to create our model, and our model must start with underscore car. So we want to persist our message upright. This model, this is the model that we want to persist on our local. So let's just copy this same model. Here, let's create a new package, and we call it db. This is for local, and paste. Where we said message upright, we are now message realm. That's why I differentiate messages class, message realm, copy the class name, and here paste everything where there's message realm. Okay. Control Shift R, Control R, so that we can replace all. Then replace all. So let's delete this. From their documentation, as you can see, you must add this annotation at Realm model. So let's add that and import. Let's remove this import. And again, for an ID, they use object ID. So let's also use the same. This is going to be our primary key. So we want to add few more properties here. And the first one will be string. Sorry. Local path. This one we are going to use it when we are storing our application, when we are saving our media, like an image, and we want to know the local path. So if someone deletes the path, the file won't exist. Then here we want to show a preview of an image, preview base 64. So this one, when the image or video not yet downloaded, so we can just show a preview, just showing that there's a image that you're supposed to download. So after doing this, we can now go back to our documentation. They said you can run this. Let's run the command in our terminal. And also I usually add this on readme file so that next time I won't look for that command again. So there's an error that you are going to have here. The file must start with an underscore. So just put an underscore. You see the file missing prefix and run the command again. Let's go to our DB. You see this one it generated this file. Let's add it into our git refactor git add. So after doing this, let's go to our documentation again and follow the steps. So we need to add a configuration. Since we are using a rapid pod, let's add this configuration and we can call it room provider. Let's create a room providers. Let's just take this real time, copy, paste, and we set real time, just say room provider. Okay, then here it's going to be a room provider. For a room, it requires a room class and a configuration here. So we don't have a configuration. So let's configure this. You can configure here the name of this is it requires array of our room object. So here we just put this. We put this room without an underscore which was generated, and then we can add a configuration. So we shall also save like the list of charts. So we will add also another chart room schema. After doing this, on our configuration, we can also do this. Let's see what is in here. We have the schema version. By default is on version 0. So let's just say schema version. You are on version 0. So if you add another column in any of if you add another column here, you have to update your schema version. Be aware of that. So now we have our room provider. So let's read again. So we are almost done. You see, we can now use our room. So this is the class that we are going to save. So let's go to our project. We want to create a method which we use to save a message. So let's go to our screen. No, not this one. No. In this class, on our notifier, we want to save the message into our local database. So let's create this method called save message. And the name we want to save of a message type, this one. And also we need a document. So after doing this, we can just copy the room class, which is this one. So by default, the room class will be this, but we need this one without an underscore. And I think we need to import. Let's import it. and here it requires an ID. So on our ID, it's of type object. So here, let's say we want to our ID. Let's first convert this one. Date time. Our ID will be a date time which is unique for our messages. So we want to pass the date time from document dot created. So for each message, we have a date time, we have a created date, and here for our ID, just say file ID equals to object ID, because this one is of type object, but it's from timestamp of date time. So we are going to use this ID, the message created time, so that we can have one message in our database, so we can avoid duplicates. So if we try to save multiple messages, if the time is the same, we can have one messages. So after doing this, let's now do the sender user ID equals to message Appwrite dot sender user ID, and also receiver user ID equals to message. So what we can do, the first way is to just duplicate, and we can have a message, and here a message, and we can have a type, and here you have a type. It's just the same, and we can have a created or a send date. It's going to be the send date. We can take the created date. We can take the date time, which is this one, and we can also read. We can say message Appwrite to read. Yeah. So after doing this, so let's put this in our try catch in case it failed to save. Something can happen. Maybe your phone storage is full. You just say E, and we can print the exception. So here, what you want to do first, before we save this object into the database, we want to make sure that it doesn't exist. So here, let's just say final message. This is the message that you want to save. So in realm, we just say realm. So far we didn't initialize it. So let's initialize it on top. So here we just say get realm. Let's get the realm object and say underscore realm, and you want to import realm provider. And let's import this realm provider. We can import our realm provider, and you can use this realm to find and also to persist. So you just say realm dot, we want to query, we want to use the query, and the query that you want to use. So what you do, you just type here, you have to type R first. Outside, you just type R, then you put your conditions here. So we can say created at, we are looping, we want to check this, the created date. We want to use, this is send date that we want to check. Send it, the time that the message was sent. Then we say equals to dollar at position 0, right? Then it's a parameter we can replace there with the value. So here you can pass by. So you are saying on array position 0. So here the date will be date time. So we want to look for the date, and we can get the result here, and it will be results. So for now, we are using the created date is our unique key. So we make sure that we assume that there are no duplicates based on dates. So we can check if results is empty. If the result is empty, it means that this record does not exist. So we want to persist. So before we persist, we want to say state message. We want to add into our messages. We want to insert this record into our message so that our view can be displayed with a new, so that we cannot re-render the whole view. So it's expensive to an app to re-render the view that we have. So previously I was using a set. So I want to use a list so that I can add it to the first index. A set does not support that. So let's change this. I was using a set. So let's use a list. It's supposed to be an empty. So let's view it again. Yeah, the error is now resolved. But here it's no longer a what? It's no longer. So let's leave it like that for now. So here we just say state dot insert. It's now a dot messages dot insert. We can use an insert method. We want to insert it position 0. Then we want to insert this message. The problem that we have is that this message does not support a realm message realm. It's supporting realm Appwrite. So let's go back again into our state and change this to realm Appwrite, to message realm, and import and run again. So I can walk through step by step so that you can understand what we are doing. So after doing this, we are able to put this we are now able to update at position 0. It means on our view, it will display the latest message. So after doing this, we just say state equals to state dot copy, then messages, which is state dot messages. So you can copy the latest messages. We inserted this and we updated our state here. So before we do this, we just need to save this. Let's save this message into our realm, because this logic we want to save. So let's save it dot write. We can use the write operation, and in the write operation, let's just do this, and we can say underscore realm dot add, and we can add our message. We are now saving our message, and here set it to true. So it will, if the record exists, here we just say update. If the record exists, it will update. If it doesn't exist, it will create a new one. So this operation is not there on Appwrite. I think we must create a pull request for that so that we cannot handle 404 always. So if we set the parameter to update true, then the Appwrite will update an existing, because we know that this record is a same ID. So we are using send date as the ID, also as the column send date. It's a time. So after doing this, so here we just say else. In our else party, we just say message room equals to our results dot first. We can get the first result because we are going to have one message at a time. Okay. The problem is that here we are supposed to say it was a generic one. So if we do this, so this one it means the message exists. Maybe we want to check if the message was what? Maybe the message was read. If it was read, we can delete that later on. So I just say to do delete message if it is read, if it was read, and update the room. So we can do that on the future videos. So db schema, and we'll just db record. Then after doing this, we'll be able to save here. So on save message, I think here we are done, and we can now go here. So after adding messages, we are adding this into here. So here we just do this. So after after we get any message, after we call this get messages for the user, we want to save this and also the document just like this. So then after doing this, I think we are okay. We can remove this. We can remove this, and let's see the error here. Here we just say uuid dot, yeah, like this. We solve this issue. So we managed to save our message. So when the user opens the messages page, we want to initialize the messages and load the messages from Realm database. So let's create the method called initialize messages. And the first sender user ID, and also string receiver user ID. So now we can continue to use the Realm, right? Then here we just say query as usual, like what we did last time. We just say R before, and then we want to query where sender user ID is equal to, like I told you, we will replace this and we use ORO. Let's copy receiver user ID is equal to parameter 1 ORO as it is sender user ID. Here is now position 1 and here is now position 0, and here you just put a sender user ID in our query and receiver user ID. So we are going to put these messages and we'll put a colon. After getting the messages, it will return. And this one, remember, last time we had an issue here. It's supposed to be a message realm, and you can see here it will return a result of this type. Then here we just say results. So after doing this, if the result is not empty, you just add a condition. If result is not empty, it means we have messages. We just say state equals to state as usual dot copy with messages, then message results dot to list. So we are now updating our message state with the new messages from the database. So here we can go to our message screen. We have an error now because we were using messages Appwrite and we are supposed to use messages in realm now. So let's update this one and import this and also update here. Here just say object ID, or just do this, say object. I think that's the error object ID. It's a default. So this method requires a message room. Since we changed everything from message Appwrite, we are supposed to update this also to message room. Everything will work fine because we copied from message Appwrite and the properties are just the same. And let's test. But before we test, here we are calling 3 seconds. Let's just say 1 second. And we just say notify. I think we have the notifier here, message notifier. So just say message notifier dot initialize message, and the sender ID is it's my user ID, and this one is friend user ID, and here we just add initialize to end or null pointer. So after we call get messages, yeah, it will save and add to a new save here. After saving, we can copy and a new message can be added. Yeah, after run the application, let's go to friends. Let's sync our friends. Let's click testing. You can see these are the numbers. These are the messages that you are currently having and they are persisted. So to check the number of messages, let's just do this and say print. So we can run the application again. Let's go to friends, refresh. You can see with 29 messages. Let's just try to send something. Hello. You can see the message is being sent. Let's go back, open again. It is pulling, but the hello now is now doing the reverse order. So to fix this, we have to come here. Let's fix this, and we want to sort by date, created date. So we just say sort, open braces, then we say, and for this is not created date. Which field are we using? It's we know that the send date is the date which was the message was created. So we just say sort this one. Then we say descending order, and let's run the application. Open again, refresh, open this. You see, we are now showing the latest from the bottom. Come again. Yeah, the message being shown here and it's being persisted. So you can come here and open again. Then you say hello, hello again. So after doing this, there's a bug. You see the hello again. Even I typed this, it's not populating. So there's a issue with our listener. So let's go to our screen. So we can go to get messages. This one. So here we just say if mounted, just copy. This is this one. Yes, if mounted, we can listening. After the build, we can listening. So let's save this and rerun the application. So the bug is only when you move back. When you open the app, the first chat, it's okay. So let me type anything like this. So you can come back. Now let's type again. Last time it was R. Let's put Y and see. You see, it's now rendering. The issue was fixed by mounted, so it's because of the view when it's being built. So we are waiting for view because it was listening into this. So the issue was because on this listener. So we have to mount, and after we mount that, we notify the state. They need to listen and then update here. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot. We are using Room to persist our messages. And even if I come here, let's say get messages. If I don't call this method, which is if I don't call this message, which is get messages on initialization, if I run the application again, refresh, if I do this, it is pulling the data from the local storage. You see, currently we have 35 messages in our local storage. I hope you enjoyed this message. Thank you for watching this long video. And if you are new to this channel, may kindly subscribe and click the notification bell. And if you are existing user, thank you so much. May you like the video, put a comment, and also share with anyone. Saluko, let's meet in another video.